This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? In this video, I found this website called Eupedia, and it does loads of facts. So I found the one about Wales. So I'm going to read you some facts about the history, land and nature, mining and industry, railway, architecture. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'll try and get through as many as I can. Okay, let's start with history. Wales is the land of mythical King Arthur, the famous Romano-British leader fighting against the invading Anglo-Saxons. Arthur's fortress Camelot is placed by both Geoffrey of Monmouth and Chrétien de Troyes in Caerleon, the site of one of the three Roman legionary forts in Britain, the others being Chester and York, both in England. Caerleon incidentally possesses the only surviving Roman barracks in Europe. In Llangadwaladr lies Britain's oldest royal tombstone, that of Cadfan ap Iago, King of Gwynedd, from 616 to 625. Wales was incorporated to and ruled by England from 1284, and officially annexed to England by the Wales Acts between 1535 and 1542. Since 1301, the Crown Prince of England has been referred to as the Prince of Wales, to symbolise this union between the two countries. The powerful Tudor dynasty that ruled England and Ireland from 1485 until 1603 originated in the small Welsh hamlet of Penmynydd on Anglesey. Welsh mathematician Robert Record invented the equal sign and introduced the plus and minus signs as well as algebra to Britain. Pembrokeshire-born Bartholomew Roberts is considered the most successful pirate of the golden age of piracy, and is thought to have been the first pirate to name his flag Jolly Roger in June 1721. The invention of the world's first mail order is often attributed to the American Aaron Montgomery. However, 11 years after, the Welsh entrepreneur Price Jones, so good they named him twice, launched his own mail order business from Newtown, Montgomeryshire. Britain's very first lager brewery was opened in Wrexham in 1881 by German immigrants. Established in 1894, Spillers Records in Cardiff is today the oldest record in the world, as well as the oldest recording business. In 1900, Britain got its first Labour MP, Keir Hardie, just months after the Australian Labour Party became the world's first elected socialist party. The world's first Department of International Politics opened at Aberystwyth University in 1919. In the 1970s, Hay-on-Wye turned into the world's first book town and holds Europe's largest annual second-hand book market. Basically, it's a town where there's literally nothing but bookshops. It's basically my dream to go there. Okay, land and nature. The oldest tree in Wales, Llangeryw Yew, is between 4,000 and 5,000 years old. Llangeryw Yew. Try saying that when you're drunk. Llangeryw Yew. The Brecon Beacons National Park shelters Europe's largest cave system, Mynydd Llangatug, Britain's longest and largest show cave down the Ogof. Used to take school trips there, as well as Britain's deepest cave, Ogof Ffynnon Ddu, literally the cave of the black 22,000 people, St. David's in Pembrokeshire is the smallest cathedral city in the world. It is also the only city in Britain that lies entirely within a national park. The Smithfield Livestock Market in Welshpool, Montgomeryshire, is the largest one-day sheep market in Europe. We like our sheep, okay? The Merthyr Mawr sand dunes were once the largest dune system in Europe. They were chosen as the shooting location for the 1962 film Lawrence of Arabia. The Pembrokeshire Coast National Park is the smallest and only coastal national park in Britain. It comprises Stockholm Island, which was the country's first officially designated bird reserve. Yeah, no humans live on that island, as well as its first bird observatory. Skoma. With the neighbouring islands of Skoma and Grasholm have over 500,000 breeding seabirds, including the largest colony of Manx shearwater in the world, second largest colony of northern gannets. There are also actively breeding colonies of puffins, cormorants, razorbills, guillemots, as well as grey seals and dolphins. This waterfall is called Sgwd Isaf Clean Gwyn, which basically is like, I can't translate it very well, but it's the white something or other higher version. There must be a lower one down as well. Penrhyn Quarry, Dunoweg Slate Quarry. So we're well known for our mining and industry. Wales played a pioneering role in the Industrial Revolution, thanks in part to being the richest land in Britain for mining. The Welsh soil has been exploited at least since the Bronze Age and attracted the Romans to Britain, chiefly for Wales's gold at Dolau Cothi, copper and lead, and Cornwall's tin. Copper has been mined at Paris Mountains since the early Bronze Age. Penrhyn Quarry and Oakley Quarry, both in Gwynedd, were respectively the two world's largest slate quarry and the world's largest slate mine at the end of the 19th century. In the 19th century, Merthyr Tydfil was the iron capital of the world. The lower Swansea Valley, where I grew up, was the largest copper processing area in the world at the end of the 19th century. Havod Works, I went to school in Havod, were at the time the largest copper works on earth. By 1873, the Landor district of Swansea, where I grew up, boasted the world's largest steelworks, founded by German-born engineer William Siemens. Cardiff used to be the world's biggest exporter of coal and iron. When it opened in 1839, the West Bute Dock was the largest masonry dock on the planet. The city's coal exchange, established in 1886, used to determine the price of the world's coal. The Royal Mint of the United Kingdom is headquartered at Llantrisant, near Cardiff. Railway. In 1804, the world's first railway steam locomotive, the Iron Horse, launched on its inaugural journey from Penydarren to Abercynon in Glamorgan. The world's first fare-paying passenger railway service was established on the Oystermouth Railway in Swansea in 1807. It later became known as the Swansea Mumbles Railway, and we really want it back because we took it away. Merthyr Tydfil boasts the world's earliest surviving iron railway bridge, Pont y Cafnau. That must be it. Oh, it's the Menai. Built in 1793, as well as the first railway tunnel in the world. Founded in 1832, the Festiniog Railway is the oldest independent railway company in the world. There it is there. In 1951, the Talyllyn Railway became part of the world's first railway preservation society. Oh, here we go. The The village of Llanfair Pwllgwyn Gill Cogere Chwern Drobwll Llantysilio Coch, translated in English as St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near a rapid whirlpool at the Church of St. Cilio of the Red Cave, is famous for having the longest place name in Europe, 58 letters. The name of its railway station is the longest in the world. It is more commonly known as Llanfair PG or Llanfair Pwll. The village's official website holds the Guinness Book record of the longest valid internet domain name. Now you can test your memory and try to retype it with mistake. The monastery, architecture and construction. The monastery on Bangor on Dee, near Wrexham, is the oldest in Britain. It was founded in 560. Chepstow Castle, Monmouthshire, is the oldest surviving post-Roman stone fortification in Britain. It began in 1067, over 100 years before Windsor Castle was rebuilt in stone. The medieval Beaumaris Castle on Anglesey is generally considered the finest example of concentric castle in Europe. It has been a World Heritage Site since 1986. Begun in 1120, Bangor Cathedral is the oldest cathedral still in use in Britain. The ruined Flint Castle is the only British castle with two donjons. I don't know what they are. It is famous for having the thickest walls of any castle anywhere. Conwy possesses the most complete medieval city walls in the United Kingdom, the smallest house in Britain, and the oldest house in Wales. Powys Castle possesses Britain's oldest and one of the last true formal Baroque gardens. The old bridge in Pontypridd, built in 1756, has the longest single stone arch in the world. Completed in 1805, Pont Cysylltu Aqueduct is the longest aqueduct in Britain. The boat ride passing on the aqueduct is the highest in the world above land. The Menai Bridge, linking the Isle of Anglesey to mainland Britain, the first modern suspension bridge in the world. Upon completion in 1826, it was the longest bridge on Earth, with a total length of 386 metres. The Newport Transporter Bridge, constructed in 1906, is the largest of the 9 surviving historic transport bridges in the world. Its span is 196.5 metres. At 91 metres, the Llyn Brian Dam in Carmarthenshire is the highest dam in the UK. Aberdylis Falls near Neath is home to Europe's largest electricity generating water wheel. The Great Glass House at the National Botanic Garden of Wales in Llanarthna, Carmarthenshire, is the world's largest single-span glass house. Welsh, a Brythonic Celtic language, is ancestral tongue of Welsh people. Nowadays, 750,000 people claiming a self-reported competence in Welsh, which is 21% of the population. If you're confused, we all spoke Welsh, but when we got invaded, we stopped speaking it as much. The National Eisteddfod of Wales, a festival of literature, music and performance held in the Welsh language, is the largest festival of competitive music and poetry in Europe. The Welsh are the direct descendants of the Roman-era inhabitants of England and Wales, who were displaced and confined to the hilly and rocky western fringe of Britain by the Anglo-Saxons in the 5th and 6th centuries. The English name for Wales originates from the Germanic word Valha, meaning stranger or foreigner, which is related to the word Gaul. The French and Italian word for Wales is Galles, while the Spanish is Gales. Funny, because we weren't the foreigners. The ancient Britons spoke a Brythonic Celtic language, the ancestor of Welsh, whose closest surviving relative is Breton, spoken in Little Brittany, France. Ancient Brythonic Celtic was more closely related to the Gaulish Celtic of the continent than to Gaelic centric from Ireland and Scotland. Modern population genetics have revealed that the Welsh paternal lineages are overwhelmingly of Celtic origin. Around 60% of paternal Welsh lineages belong to the Y-DNA haplogroup R1b-L21. This hints at a relatively small Roman presence in Britain, which may explain why Latin didn't survive the fall of the empire. There are lots of Latin words in Welsh though, like pont for bridge, and eglwys for church, which is like ecclesia, I think. A few modern Welsh place names that sound typically Celtic are actually corruptions from Latin names left by the Romans. Caerleon is a shortening of the words castrum and legio. Gwent, the name of a modern county and a medieval kingdom, is likewise a normal phonetic evolution of the town name Caerwent, itself a Celticization of Castrum Venta, from the Roman town name Venta Silurum. Is that mean like whistling wind or something in Latin? Venta Silurum. A similar process happened in England with the arrival of the Anglo-Saxons who corrupted the Latin castra into Castor, Cester and Chester, Lancaster, Leicester, Manchester. Typically Welsh surnames are given names ending in S, such as Williams, Davis, Jones, Edwards, Roberts, Hughes, Lewis or Evans. Yes, so we used to have our father's first name as our surname, and then we were told we had to have a proper surname. So we just took our father's name, William, and added an S. So David had an S, John had an S, Edward had an S, etc. Celebrities. Famous Welsh actors and actresses include Richard Burton, Anthony Hopkins, Timothy Dalton, Catherine Zeta-Jones, as well as Monty Python comedian and film director Terry Jones. Among other well-known Welsh people, let's cite geographer George Everest, after whom Mount Everest was named, explorer Henry Morton Stanley, former British Prime Minister David Lloyd George, singer Tom Jones, legend, designers Laura Ashley and Mary Quaint, or classical singer Charlotte Church. In the 2000 census, 1.7 million Americans reported Welsh ancestry. Yay! Although the true figure is most likely higher given the occurrence of Welsh surnames in the USA. If you have one of these surnames, then you belong to us. US states with the highest percentage of people of Welsh descent are Utah, Ohio, Vermont and New York. Notable Americans of at least partial Welsh descent include Presidents Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Abraham Lincoln, Calvin Coolidge, but also William Penn, who founded Pennsylvania. Jack Daniel of the whiskey, J.P. Morgan, Bank Securities, architect Frank Lloyd Wright, aviator and film producer Howard Hughes, whose life was immortalized in the Academy Award-winning movie The Aviator, Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton, oh really, Hillary's one of us, and Hollywood actor Tom Cruise. He is very short and dark. It's very typical Welsh, I should have guessed. Awesome. Well, I didn't think I'd get through all of that, but I actually really enjoyed it. I hope you did. If you did, give me a like. And if you're new to the channel, croeso, welcome. Then consider subscribing. And I'll put another video here that I think is quite nice for you, maybe one on Wales. And you can watch that next if you're not asleep yet. But otherwise, have a really lovely rest of your day, evening, night, good sleep, etc. And I'll see you soon. Drop me a comment and let you know if you enjoyed the video, okay?